But no, I just think the anonymous stuff again. I didn't go to a high level university, and so my principles, my way of doing things, um, how I embrace the industry and again who I am as a person, it comes from a different space, and so anonymous things and anonymous evaluations and sources and things like that. Every now and then, obviously, you have to use a source if you don't want to
Yeah.
necessarily. But for the most part, if you're saying something, if you're making a statement about something, and you're doing that from an anonymous perspective, then that don't read, that
Yeah.
don't go. So, and I've been a part of a pool of anonymous evaluations, and we see an anonymous player come out on something with Bronny, and you see an anonymous GM say something about somebody, or and it's just like, man, if you can't put your name on it, don't say it because that don't read. Not at
Facts.
least not for me.
And it's whack because Bronny a cool dude. He don't need this light, all that. If you know Bronny, like he be minding his own business. He not flashy, no nothing. Like he just
Yeah, and
so they even hate. Like it just don't really make
yeah,
sense
but
to me.
I actually tip my hat, because think about it this way. I believe Bronny's the first player in NBA history to not have a dependent.
What do you mean by that?
He don't have nobody to take care of.
That's true.
Not one. He don't have to do nothing for his mother, father, sister, brother, grandmother. No, there's no player in NBA history that can say that. No, not one.
Mm.
The fact that he's going through the journey and wanting to do what he wants to do, to me, is admirable because most kids are playing because they have to, not because they want to. Most kids are playing because they have to help. They have to, do their part. A lot of my job, I had to help my family. We have to help. And so you get to a point to where, oh, I don't have to do this and I still want to after all the things that took place. You know, the ignorance of some people just shines through a lot of times. And don't get me wrong, as it pertains to the critique from a basketball perspective, that's part of our business. That's part of the game to
Yeah.
critique, the basketball play. If he's 0 for 10, that deserves some critique, right? But we all know he's trying to make the shots, but that deserves some critique. And it also depends on how you saying it and where it's coming from, right? Versus wishing it like you're happy that someone, if every shooters have bad games. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's the way it comes
But it's
out
the
kind of
way it
whack. Yeah,
comes off for a lot of
for
people,
sure.
and so you can feel that negative energy,
Mm.
which is again, a lot of it is because how you feel about his father, but you can't critique that. So now brother, I've been in that situation before growing up,
Yeah.
right? And so I totally understand it. But like you said, blinders on, man. Keep rocking, keep grinding. Um, the party ain't gonna be like the picnic. We know that.
Yeah.
And so, but that's part of our lives. It's part of his life. And like I told his mom when he was struggling the couple games in Vegas, and me and Vanna talked, and I just told her I was like, this is all going to be helpful for him,
Yeah.
right? This is what builds character, right? And what we went through in our early lives as young people, he don't have to go through, and my kids don't have to go through that either. So they have to find their adversity and their resilience. They have to discover that through other avenues,
Yeah.
and we want them to discover that because my dad always told me, I'm not going to be around forever, and he wasn't. Passed
Yeah.
away when I was 19 years old, but that education that he gave me from the time I was born to the time he passed away at 19, I had a life's worth
Yeah.
of just a treasure chest of jewels as it pertains to life, and I can't thank him enough for that.
Yeah.
And so, um, that's part of it. But I feel you in terms of the malice and the energy that they give off as it pertains to their critique and what's on the end of those words as people get on these TV shows and on these social media platforms and wish and hope for a kid to do bad, which it's just it's unbelievable that in 2024 we still sit in that space.
Yeah.
And we have a long way to go. Our youth have a long way to go. You see what's happening in our communities, and
Yep.
these kids just not caring about life, and not even wanting to be anything no more.
Yep.
It's just a troubling thing, man. And so that's why everything I do with the intent of trying to push the culture forward, um, and really provide and build things, so that way I can provide opportunities for those that may not have the quote unquote credentials to be warranted an opportunity.
Yep. And then